Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend, actually. I got loads of car stuff done. And I will be completely clear with everyone. I'm having a bit of an anxiety day, which is lovely. It's lovely for me. I really want to play this, though. So we're really just gonna see how things go today. Really. We'll see how long I stream for. But yeah, I hope everyone had a good weekend. Let's begin. I want to do Botania. And I can make this floral fertilizer now. Oh, and I've also updated this. Wow, fireworks crazy. I've updated this to 2.8 beta 1. No, beta 2. Beta 2 now. So there's not there's quite a few mods which have been updated. Main ones are Greg Tech. It's got a bunch of bug fixes. Yeah, so nice, this floral fertilizer. I can make these flowers. Which I do need a decent amount of these. So there should be 16 in total. See if I have all of them. 7. I'm still missing 2 types. And there they are. Yeah, I love watching this. It's still going. 2,000 of each, I think. Right, that should be enough for now. Do I... I need an extractor which I can use over there. Do you partake? I have an idea. Wait, I can actually view it in here. So high voltage would be 32. EV would be 128. Yeah, let's do a high voltage one. I need to upgrade one of them. Ooh, that drilling plant is done. Right, I think I can actually make the RTG. That's medium voltage. I can make the nuclear reactor. Circuit 1. So this just supplies a passive source of energy, basically, if you stock it with the RTG pellets. Oh, what was that? That was fluid canner. Probably the rubber sheets. Oh, that is molecular assembler. Okay. All right, and the platinum wire, that should be easy. One of you, socket 8. I hope I can make the RTG bellets. Yes, I can. How many does this store? I think it's in the power generation. How to generate power? 6? Still making the cables. I requested some more of them because I'm going to be doing a lot with applied logistics today. Oh yeah, and if you have followed in the Discord server, I have a rough idea on how to actually automate the runic altar. So once I get there, I can just immediately set this up. Let's go... Oh, this is kind of in the center, isn't it? Three? No, I want to go only 2. You're not going to place nicely. Just so that I have a slightly decorative rain shield for this extractor. Even do this. Hello, Zetro. I hope you're having a good day. But I'm actually quite excited to be able to do some Botania. My end goal for this, I don't think I've actually said, is Alf Glass. Oh, that is... yeah, weirdly, I like that. Alright, we'll do the battery buffer here. Let's pop off these bits. Oh yeah, and one of the other things which I can use, these barrels. Are you doing Botania? Oh, and I do have a use for these powder barrels later on. Yeah, I'm having a good day. Well, yeah. I'm having a meh day, to be fair. It could definitely be better. But yeah, I am looking forward to Botania. I did loads of car maintenance over the weekend and my arms are now aching. The consequences of working on your car. Oh, the under tray on Subarus are an absolute nightmare to get off. Actually, no, that's not entirely true. Getting them off is easy. Getting them back on, what a job that is. It was, well, it was certainly interesting. I needed to do an oil change. I did do the oil change, but getting the under tray back on was painful. Right, so how does this actually work? How does this output energy? Do I need a cable? Also, Whaler, you're currently... There we go. Well, this is going to be low voltage, isn't it? This is actually really cool that I've done... Okay, you do connect. I've done a lot with the nuclear stuff, so I have the plutonium to be able to set this up. So this should just output continuously and forever 32 AU per tick. Which is more than enough to run this extractor. Well, let's do that so that it's nice and open. So I need some bone meal. And shears. I could actually... Oh, of course, the... angel block. Do I want to make the unbreakable shears? I think a pair of normal shears. So let's start with just placing... Oh, let's see if I can get 2 of each. Dude, what one am I missing? Just the mystical black flower. There we go. Nuclear reactor scripts for open computers. Cycle now to see if you missed anything. Not at the moment. That does sound pretty cool though. I suppose if you send over the script, I could definitely have a look at it sort of a bit later when I'm not streaming. I like playing around with reactors. Alright, so let's just put one of each. Oh, do I want... Can I actually scan anything in here? I can. Okay, it's sensors plus Herber. Some point this weekend, share it. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it. I mean, the one which I've made, I haven't put on GitHub yet because, well, it's not perfect, and I'm not currently using it. Go to work without any timers, and it only swaps coolant when it finds cells. Oh, so it is actually set up. So it's actually reading the contents of the reactor then. That's cool. See, mine isn't set up like that. Even the, was that Project Red controlled one? Mine's currently reading it using applied logistics. I suppose the drawback for my one is it does take at least 2 seconds for the level emitters to actually read. Storage upgrade in it to read the reactor inventory. I'm guessing that that can actually, that can update faster than the applied logistics one. Aha. Then rinse and repeat. While I also wait for that, let's do a bit of this. Stack that by 4 more. Oh, you have to, okay. So applied logistics would be faster in that respect. But the fact that you can actually read, well, you can read the entire content of the reactor compared to what I'm doing, you can control the fail safes more. Where you can control them actually in code. Alright, so I'm doing this in the hope that it will stop mobs from being able to get in. Oops. Oh, I'm not used to it. I'm not used to not pressing G for the crossbow. Uh, 71 should be enough. We'll see if that helps so that I don't need to sleep. Still ends up being a solid solution. I'm not using any applied logistics with yours right now. But you'd like to. See, with the open computers, compared to my build, you could be able, so if you're actually reading the contents of the reactors, you wouldn't need these level emitters. and then the actual program will control like the coolant swap and the fuel swap. So you could make it so that the fuel swap only happens if there's depleted rods actually present in the reactor, and the coolant swap also only runs when there's actually a coolant cell which needs to be replaced. So the uptime would be sort of dynamic, more dynamic than mine. Yeah, because these, it's completely fixed. I'm running them for a time which I know is safe to run them. Yeah. Compared to that, and I did do it actually. I have another test reactor. We're in the test world, which only uses applied energistics to control, like when it runs the coolant swap, when the reactor runs, and when it needs the fuel rods. Just for fun, really. Right, how many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is a stack. This is insane. Well, I want to make sure that I got loads of petals. Tell you what I wouldn't mind. I wonder if the watering can actually works on these. Will I actually make these grow? Or do I need to use bone meal? Don't reckon it works. Well, I've got a lot of bone mealing to do then. Right now, the doesn't that look nice? That's all 16 petals. Well, all 16 Botania flowers. And can I? Of course that crashes. Why wouldn't it crash? That that actually broken now? That was weird. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to check all of the recipes for these. I don't think there's any recipes which use the tall ones. Well, apart from making the petals. Oh, okay. They are only used for this. That's quite nice. That's the be. Now I just need to wait, pretty much. So what's next for the runic altar? And I need 3 of these, so I may as well make 3. Runic matrix. Not some crazy recipe for that. Then I reckon I need the research. Which is currently being locked by... Oh, it is that one. Okay. What's Herba? Herba... Yeah, let's do Terra. Okay, this is going to be a messy one. I don't much care. Permutatio, Perditio. We're going to have to do... I'm doing that again. Oh well. One runic altar infusion. So Terra Steel is up there. Actually, let's do that one too. I know that Terra Steel is going to be coming up soon. I'm probably going to need that one. Okay, that just requires pickaxe of the core. I do also really want to make the Terra Shatterer, because that is, well, it's very different to mine things compared to the Tinker's Construct hammer. Actually, let's go Artifice, pickaxe of the core. Let's go Potentia, Ordo, Instrumentum. Census. Actually, do there and then it lines up. Aurum, Pray, Cantatio. I guess that would be the connecting thing there. And then it could go Potentia, Ordo, Instrumentum. Don't go go there. So it's cool, all of the research you have to do for this. Everything's sort of tied into Thorncraft. Alright, well that goes into Humanist, so that can go there. Possibly there. There we go. Terra Shatterer. And Thorncraft rabbit hole eventually. You will, Mark. And if you get into the late game with like the Infinity Armor, it's mandatory if you want the Infinity Armor. This requires all of the other magic mods, so Botania, Draconic Evolution, Blood Magic, Thorncraft, and even the quantum stuff, and the space suit. So what was needed? Okay, Herba. Fabrico. Missing that. I have Precantatio and Aurum. Fabrico. Also, hello, Mark. Hope you're having a good day. Is the Thorncraft NEI? Ooh, I think that's been a mod which has been removed. Okay. Possibly crafting tables have that Fabrico. They have 4, so a stack of this would definitely be enough. Oh yeah, I did add a couple new songs to the playlist. They are, this is one of them, I believe. from Tory Wolf. Woke up, but hope it is good. Yesterday got light fuel and silicon solar grade automated. That's good. That's good to be automated, especially that solar grade silicon. That will save a lot of time, it being set up on passive. Used for solar panels and pretty much all applied energistics components use it. Herba Precantatio Fabrico Aurum. Cool. Let's steal this. Okay. Oh, Prismarine. What's the recipe for that? Nether quartz? This is what I'm going to really like. I want to be able to auto craft with Botania. How cool would that be? Wait, no, this is 2 of each. Let's go Mana Steel, Prismarine, Living Rock, Mana Pearls. I've also never done... I've never made this runic altar before. Remember my previous GTNH playthrough? I didn't do any Botania. So this is my first time. So far, it does feel pretty cool using Thorncraft for all of the magical stuff. Like making this. Also, check out the trophy. Cheeky runic altar trophy. How many trophies am I up to now? It's starting to definitely take up space here. When was the last one? About a month ago, since I got the last trophy. Oh, let's get a pattern for Mana Spreader. Yeah. Let's use the white one. Yeah, I wonder if I already... No, I don't. Yeah, this is going to be a fun automation challenge. To be able to automate these fully. I am definitely thinking... Thank you for the Greg Tech noise. Well, if I do that, it would be there. I now can't unsee what it looked like in the test world. Yeah, so I'm going to have these just arranged like that. Go to the flower power chapter. Right, so I really need to set up the automation now. I better start at GTNH a dozen times due to updates, but never got out of Stone Age. So I'm counting this as first playthrough, though. Everything... Trying to dodge a cat, then. What was that? Everything is pretty much a first time for me. That's fair. I mean, I managed to get really far for my first playthrough. I suppose that's because I've had experience with Greg Tech. And this time around, I want to go and I want to reach out in all of the other directions which GTNH actually has, like more magic, more automation challenges. Just sort of enjoy everything, really. Right, so I'm going to be specifically using entropiniums for mana production. Just because I find this one the most fun. Okay, and I also need Rune of Fire. Okay, I've got a handful of mushrooms then. So mushroom, block of cold, stone, stainless steel plates. I'm going to need 2 of them. Mana powder. I think draconium is the cheapest. What's the least amount of mana in there? Netherwort, gunpowder, nether brick. See how many ores you can passive that way. You can do a fair amount. I did bees. I waited until quite far. I think it was ZPM tier when I really started going crazy last time around. There are a lot which you can get. I suppose here are a couple of beneficial ones. They're very late game though. Well, not too late game. Nether stars are an incredible one. What is that called? It's a Witherby. So this produces nether star combs, which produces nether star ore, which is just nether stars, which you can set up on passive. What other ones did I have? There are platline ones. So platinum, Platinum, iridium, osmium, palladium. Don't think that... Is there a ruthenium? No, there's not ruthenium or rhodium. But there are other passive things. And then there's basically like copper, iron, diamond, all of the basic materials you can get. Right, that is milk wort. That is going to be kind of... I want a Chad bee. I have, in quotation marks, lemon cake, which is just a vanilla cake, so I'm going to use that. Yeah, fishing rod. You can't be too difficult, can you? No assembler recipe for that, which is... Right, I will need to get the single-use wire cutters. Oh yeah, speaking of the single-use, this is going to be deprecated at some point in the near future, I believe. So all of these recipes, they're being moved to the fluid solidifier. So you won't need to make loads of tool casting machines, which is what I'm doing. Tool casting. You just some steel. I've already got one of them in there. Casting dual interface, please. Do I have any spare medium voltage lines? They're here. Here will be fine. So output. Once that comes online, I won't need to craft single use. Oh, did I name that properly? Single use wire cutter. I need the stainless steel again. Mana powder's easy. Stainless steel bone meal. And sugarcane. That makes 32. I suppose that could go in other for now. There's not really a lot of patterns for the long worlds in the lathe. All right, let's see if any mobs can actually get over here. All right, so sugarcane. Also get that. I know that they're still going to be able to do that to me. Hopefully. Oh, I don't think I set that properly. There you go. All right, one fishing rod. Four, five. Oh, lovely. It's like really glitching out. Oops, no, not that. Does this only work during the day? Oh, I know what's happening. Which is actually rather strange. I didn't know that. Redstone signals can block mana spreaders. Start getting the stuff for the next rune. Cake will... Oh, that's made in the compressor, isn't it? Actually, I wonder if I have a block mold for a fluid solidifier. If I don't, that would be a good idea to add one. No, I don't. Okay. You have? Okay. This will allow me to actually make snow in here. Why did you stop? Is this like not chunk loaded? Hello? It's definitely not done. Oh, that is really weird. Okay. You gonna actually finish? I'm not sure what caused that to actually get stuck then. Because this area is... I mean, it's all chunk loaded. Right, that is the primary runes for today. Well, for the moment, at least. So I can make sterling silver dust. I need to make a pattern for sterling silver plates. You. EBF. That's chrome ingots. Titanium plates. That's the block mold. Give me 2 pieces of snow. Wonder if I should... And what that is... That is quite expensive, actually, to be using obsidian or TNT to do this. I think I'd just be comfortable using the flawless diamonds, to be fair. Which might be a quest. Yes, they are. You're gonna... Alright, dude. I think I might have already done that quest, actually. What, titanium plate, mana diamonds, earth rune, and then the winter rune. So this one would be water, earth. What did I do? Not set enable input from output side. Just lots of extra. Yes, that is also a byproduct, isn't it? That's a good byproduct, to be fair. Beautiful. Also, could I make a that requires mana steel rings. And that also requires mana glass. Ooh. Right, I'm gonna leave that area. Let's see what happens if it gets stuck again. Its potency is a fire lens. My primary oxygen supply now is sugarcane electrolysis. Right, this is acting like it's not chunk loaded. Which is concerning that this is actually a bug. I am going to search the issue tracker then. It can't be a chunk. Why does it keep getting stuck? Hello, Batman. Oh, it just okay. It's just breaking the overlay. That is mildly confusing. And did that give me? It did give me it back. Maybe it's this one which doesn't. I hope you're having a good day, Batman. So it just seems to be a visual, and that is definitely a bug. I don't know why it did that. You can definitely make the lens. And then let's go. Potency is that one. Yeah, let's also. Does this have sticky runes? You're finding that was weird. It's a. I'm sure that it is a bug. Are sticky runes? They do exist. And that also gives it back. Right, here's something which is very confusing. I was in a test world and I tested this and it consumed them. And this is just giving me what? Is there like a config for this? Hydrate? I'll drink to that. Thank you for the hydrate, Batman. Drink plenty, it's hot. Definitely. So... Rune. Rotating items. There is only one entry. Okay, that's... Yeah, that is weird. Well, it's beneficial because it does make making all of these very cheap. So they'll only get confused like making this entropinium. For instance, and that is just Fire Wrath. Poppy? Who here? Yeah, I thought they gave. They should. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was expecting a stack. 8 times 8. Oh no, 8 times 4. Okay. You haven't full played with it. I know a little bit about it. I know how to automate the runic altars and the terrestrial agglomeration plate. Actually, I know how to automate everything. Although it's slightly different here because modern Minecraft, I know the reason. The interfaces have a basically more advanced blocking mode, so it will only unlock the interface after it actually receives the recipe's item, which makes it really easy to automate it because you just set it on that mode. It will send the items, then once it's crafted, it will receive it through that interface, then unlocks it. Here you don't have that, so I've got to lock it a different way, which is a more fun way in my opinion, actually. Right, and do you eat runes? Yes, you do. What do I have the most of? I'm going to make it into a floating one. There's no reason not to. But I mean, to be fair, meh. Yeah, let's not. Right, so where am I going to build this crazy automation for it? What is crafting recipe for Terra Steel armor in... Oh, I bet that's probably... What would that... Okay, if I had to guess, it will require the Mana Steel set to be able to make this, and obviously Terra Steel plates. Yeah, okay. Terra Steel plates, Mana Steel helmet, Rune of Spring, and Living with Twigs. Oh, okay, so it uses all of the Mana Steel. I don't think it's too bad. I mean, Terra Steel's going to be pretty expensive. Right, and then I think I'm just going to be really lazy with this automation. Oh, I want some sparks. I've got 31,000 blaze powder. Where am I going? Over here. So I also don't know the timing, so we're going to have a little play with the timings sort of together for this. I actually make another level maintainer. That recipe doesn't work for some reason. Let's say don't do that. 512 make a stack at a time. No request currently configured. I feel like there's also another bug for some reason with these level maintainers. Is that specifically that slot? Not found. Okay, let's just double check that is still working. Okay, I think it is. Still a bit confused about this though. You're not setting no request configured. The craft requests are omitted. The requests we use. Is that part of this? Yeah, I do have a pattern. And it can make everything from it. See, I'm noticing this after updating to the beta version. Like if I set this. Wait. When were these added? That, okay, that is actually quite surprising. Right, so this would work. Yeah, that's better. Right, so I guess two interfaces. Do a diamond nugget recipe. It's actually, honestly, I generally didn't realize. I didn't realize that there was actually a toggle for that. I feel like that's something which they've added recently. But the room which I was just in, that's the, well, that's the main part of the base, really. This room. Like a factory, I suppose, room. Just a bit of a fun design for everything. Oh yeah, the controllers. I did this last stream. Still a work in progress, but this is the best controller design I've come up with. Like, this is so much more space efficient. Right, so I sort of feel... Let's move this. Go about there. I'm thinking here. Yeah, I totally could do that. Just because I'm feeling a bit lazy. Okay, that's weird. Are they actually on there? And that's even more weird. Yeah, I guess you can't actually stack things. How many blocks is this then? 1, 2, 3, 4. That would make sense. So it's 7. Go there. So I'm going to have... Oh yeah, do I... I don't think I really want to. Honestly, I'm gonna make a bunch of them. So if I have mana spreader in the middle, mana pool there. Entropinium there. You're gonna love this automation. Actually, I think this bit could go. Since I'm going to be using the Entropinium. Honestly, all of this can go. Even them. Yeah, this is the same automation which I used in my all the mods 7 to the sky, I believe. If memory serves me well. I mean, this setup for Botania is just, it's so good. So this is just going to be set. Blocks will be placed as blocks. your 82 room. They are cool. I did that so that I could have like all of the monsters because I didn't really have a good place to put them. Then the idea for basically a monitor which is being sort of dangling from the ceiling, that came into mind for some reason. Technically, I don't actually need them, so this shouldn't ignite. This shouldn't ignite on its own. I reckon there is probably a sensible idea. I'm gonna attempt to drain that mana pool. Actually, you know what? This mana spreader. That's gonna take a while. This way should be a bit faster. Do that. So then under here, we get the powder barrels. It doesn't really need to stack more than 16. So it should just place that. Right, what do we reckon is the most decorative? Probably a wireless redstone, actually. I reckon that's going to look the neatest. So we'll do this. Advanced. Mana control. Oh, I did that wrong again. Mana control. I want this to basically fit within here. Looks like it will, which is pretty cool. So it's going to fit inside a 7x7. Depending on where that's taking its time. I still need to upgrade that compressor, don't I? I'm still using the steam compressor. So I tell you what. Come out of there, uranium-238. Oh yeah, that's the steam gauge which they added to this. I think that's all Steam multi-blocks now have this as the overlay. That'll be fine. What was the AE part that let you put down blocks? The formation plane. That's what it is. It can be configured to put down items or blocks. It will only place what's basically trying to enter the ME system. So they have to be, I suppose an import bus would work. They act like a storage bus in terms of like priorities. And for this one, I have it set to place the blocks. I want the actual powder barrel. Also, by the way, this does actually work. The powder barrels... this should work. Once again, haven't tested this. Actually, I suppose it probably would be a good idea for me to test this. Should be able to just pulse that. So this is currently receiving a redstone signal, so that would stop the timer from working. Well, this is risky. So that's mana controlled. That should turn this off. And then just for sanity, we're going to set this to 2 minutes while I figure out the actual timing for it. Yeah, that is what I'm using here. I'm using formation and annihilation planes. Yeah, formation planes, they can place blocks. Annihilation planes will break blocks. Right, and I thought I set a pattern for mana steel. Mana steel plates, please. Back from 4 ads. That's fair. Oh, they are currently active now. They should be over there right now. So 8 more. And let's do 10 for now. And I want recessive. Dispersive. I think it's recessive. Hold on, let me go and look that up. This one, when right click to a spark on a mana pool, the spark will try to send mana to all mana pools with sparks within 12 blocks from its mana pool. Right, that is the one. So if we do this, and one of you, actually, the moment I put that on there, this will all start working. So if that one's the center, 1, 2, 3, center would be here. This is pretty simple automation. So I'm hoping that this will pulse. It will pulse for one of these to actually be ignited. And then it should explode and be absorbed by the entropinium, and then it should stop again. Once I have all of the mana pools. Nope. So I think I am going to need to use... I'm going to need to use mana spreaders to send the mana around. At least to send it to these long distances. Right, that is completely full. Let's do that about 8. Three more left. What about yeah, I suppose we could test this while I'm waiting. Can that mod stop? Okay, well, I suppose if I set this up, it would be passively moving mana over long distances, at least to all of these runic altars. And I can speed this up later with better like mana spreaders. But I'm going to want dilute mana pools to be auto-craftable. Let's get like 8. Circuit 3. Okay, I'll put circuit 3 in there then. In you. Get 8 of them. Right. Ready? This should send all of the mana to all 9 mana pools. And hopefully it will only ignite one of them powder barrels once it reaches the threshold. I guess let's go for a minute. It's however long it takes for the Entropinium to completely drain. It needs to have its buffer empty before the next powder barrel actually ignites. Yeah, I do. That is... I don't know if I actually responded to that. That is what that does. It's for Living Rock and Living Wood. Right, please only ignite one. Good. Okay, see, that's 60 seconds, so... we definitely do 30. I think I could get away with 15. I know that 10 to 20 should be fine. Should explode. I suppose that also takes... that does take like 3 seconds for it to explode. I'm using... that should be fine. I'm using Annihilation Planes underneath here. Well, these are Identity Annihilation Planes. These just silk touch everything, basically. So any block... but I have these... I have storage buses filtering only Living Rock and Living Wood. So they're the only outputs for this, so it doesn't mind the stone or the living... or the stone or the oak logs. That's how I have it filtered. They'll only mine it if it's Living Rock or Living Wood. Okay, let's try 18 seconds. $18 seems to be fine. I think it's 4 seconds. Okay, let's knock off a couple more seconds. Right, I reckon that's going to be how I time this. So this is set to ignite every 16 seconds. And it's being controlled by the mana pool, so once this one fills up, the time will stop. And it should just fill up these. Oh, I forgot to do that. Ah, wonderful Botania. So do I have recessive, dispersive? What does dominant do? Dominant spark. Is that the one? Spark will try to draw mana from all mana pools with sparks within 12 blocks to its mana pool until it's completely full. That's the one which I want. Let's go gap there. Need that block. That is a fire rune. I'll need to make another one of them. Not too bad though. I think that mana pool actually... I could set up the automation for it there. Okay, what was the fire rune again? So that's Draconium. Stainless steel, nether brick. Gunpowder, nether wart. Oh yeah, let's... To be fair, I could actually start... Should we start setting up? Yeah. I won't actually, let's just pick one of them up. What's my most favorite mod in GTNH? Oh, that is tough. I like a lot of them. Most favorite? I mean, it would be the Greg Tech, but I really like GTNH's applied energistics. I reckon that's probably my most favorite. It just, everything works so well, and to be able to automate everything, even automating things, is really fun. Right, dominant, you should be able to start drawing. Now I can start setting these up. That just instantly filled that. Let's get missing living wood slabs. Yeah, I think applied energistics would be my most favorite. What was fast? The filling up of that mana pool. That's why this one took so long. But that Intropinium does produce a lot of mana. And I wanted to use that specifically because it's really easy to automate. These have a little bit of mana left in them. Yeah, so it's about a full mana pool, and then these ones are quite low. I mean, who doesn't love the mana production, something which constantly explodes? And then it just eats it. Oops. Right, get me about 8 of these for now. What would? But I think the Alfheim portal is going to be built somewhere around here. Because I need it to be close to these mana pools. But technically I don't need to, but it does consume a lot of mana for the startup. Also, this is going to be... well, let's see how far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, gap. Would be there, so that's the middle. Actually reach. It can very nearly reach. There you go, so I should be able to start filling these up. It will take quite a bit of time because of the mana spreaders. Yes, I could. Let's automate that. Let's go with advanced item collector. Probably a couple of interfaces. Oh, what is that? Open crate. Did that? Okay. I thought that just voided the spark. I do need a filter for this. The recipe for that is in the assembler. But I could do with filtering. What are things which I'm going to be making in here? Mana Steel is one of them. Mana Pearls, Mana Diamonds. I reckon there's too many. Mana Powder. I don't really think I need to do much with them. And a Weave Cloth, maybe? Oh, Mana Glass is definitely one of them. I think that's actually everything. Actually, oh, you can't filter this without actually having the item. Everything which I need to filter all have mana in the name. Where did they actually go? Oh, they've probably gone down here. Right, Mana Powder, Mana Steel, Mana Diamond, Mana Pearl, and Mana Glass. That's on the whitelist. We'll just up the Y level for that. I think that should be... Hopefully, yeah. Get a dislocator inhibitor. Now what? Well, I could actually... I could place it there. Oh, you know what? I could do a wireless connector for this. Make it even more decorative. Not. Stonecraft. Very annoying. Do that, and then I guess I could grab it from here. So this can be mana pool. And then let's do N/A for this, because I don't think no circuit makes no sense. Yeah, it's very annoying. I have over 150 of it. Right, let's make some patterns then. Oh, that's sad that I can't shift click in there. Okay, mana glass is made from regular glass. Mana powder, what was I going to do for this one? Oh yeah, Thorncraft is easily my most favourite, but the warp is the most annoying. I suppose it does coincide a little bit with it. most favorite, and the warp is the most annoying. Do I want to use draconium for this? I think glowstone. Mana diamonds were going to be flawless diamonds. Pearls was going to be ender pearls. And then mana steel was just going to be steel ingots into mana steel. I reckon my second most favorite would be, it would have to be Botania. So let's test this. Beautiful. Oh, I love this. And then let's test this by making 256. Yeah, it's working. So that's first bit of automation done. So I can request all of the mana items now through the mana pool. So the last thing is just to set up these. Where's the time now? Debating whether to end the stream a little bit early today, to be fair. Okay, how much? I suppose it's not too bad. I wouldn't mind setting these up, or setting up at least one of them. Currently making titanium. Yeah. It does cause rain. It does cause thunder. Okay, that's weird. Okay, well I've made good progress today. I think I'm going to end the stream here because, yeah, I haven't been feeling the greatest over the past couple of days. I will wait until the ad break is over so that everyone can hear. And Rune of Air. Well, these are the first four. Ars Magica is second favorite. See, I haven't played much with that one. I think it would be Thorncraft would be my most favorite. Botania second. Probably Blood Magic would be third. I haven't played much with Ars Magica or Ars Nouveau. Right, so I'm going to end the stream a little bit early today. I do just want to queue up everything. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream Wednesday also, because it is my birthday this week. And the usual for me is to take a little bit of time off when it's my birthday. So yeah, I'll try to update everyone in my Discord server. Let me think. Tomorrow, hopefully. what the plan is for the week. So yeah, I hope everyone has a really good day, good rest of the day, and hope to see you all again in the next one. Blood Magic is my last favorite because you need, yeah, exactly for Blood Magic. Right, take care everyone.